have a parachute.
Redheads, you gotta love them.
Permission to come aboard. That was the worst pep talk ever.
Blood and Black Rum Podcast presents Aquaman. Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum Podcast. I'm Ryan from Coldsploitation.com, and I'm joined with my co-host Martin.
How's it going?
Pretty good. We are back. It's been
New
a while.
year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's a new year.
Yeah, we'll do the really annoying thing of like, we haven't seen you since last year. We haven't had a new episode since last year.
I mean, it's
been a long time.
If this is more like a morning shock jock show, we could have like all the annoying sounds like that. Like, I meant more like crickets chirping. Like,
oh yeah. No, we don't do the soundboard. If anybody would donate to our Patreon, we'd fucking buy a soundboard so we can actually play some clips and stuff and do little jangles.
Some Hans Zimmer stings and John Carpenter.
But we don't have any money.
No, that'd be great. Because instead of like Hans Zimmer, we could do the ding, from Halloween. Ding.
I like to think of our podcast as like the little corner sandwich shop that everybody thinks like, no one goes to that place. How is it still open? And they're just like barely scraping by. That's what we are as a podcast. Everybody's like, they can't still be doing that, right? Right? No, we are. We're still here.
A lot of local businesses.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with it. We just don't have any money to buy a damn soundboard or anything like that.
We wouldn't know what to do with it anyway.
I would. I feel like I'd be Gene on Bob's Burgers and just constantly play fart noise like. That's what I would do. I don't know, my little keyboard thing. Or like anytime Martin says something I don't agree with, just. I can do it myself. I don't need a soundboard. I'll just do it with my voice.
I don't think you should be, in control of that.
Yeah. Too much power. No, but we're back in 2019, and obviously nothing has changed since we last did our Christmas episodes. We had talked about doing a special episode at the end of December, like continuing the Christmas episodes just a little bit, and then we didn't do that. we didn't get to that one at all. We first of all, like,
bait and switch.
Yeah, exactly. The holiday season was busy. There was just not a lot of time to do it. We did plan on maybe doing like an after New Year's doing one, and then we never got around to seeing Aquaman, and all kinds of things got in the way. The holidays really got in the way, but we are back, and we're back to a 2-week episode schedule. So. No more weekly episodes. I know everybody loves when we do weekly episodes. They're like, I just can't get enough.
I do. It's our reason to hang out.
That's right.
To keep this tenuous friendship going.
I know. And then what if I move away? What if I move like 40 minutes away? Then what will we do? We're going to have to Skype it.
Well, we'll just have to get our own shows. Competing shows.
Yeah. We'll do like what, there was some band, no, actually, well, you probably wouldn't know, but Venom, the black metal band Venom, they split off, and
right in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, one of them made the band Venom, and one of them made like a band that's something. It's called something like Venom, but it's like something else. So that's
Poison.
What we do. Yeah, exactly. We'd be like that. We'd be like, I'll be like Blood and Black Rum Podcast, and you'd be like, I'll be something similar, like I don't know. Blood and White.
Cum and Brandy. I don't know.
Blood and White IPAs podcast. Oh, speaking of which, I did, this is kind of off topic before we get into the episode, but I did watch our namesake not too long ago, Blood and Black Lace.
Yeah.
That was just released by VCI Entertainment on Blu-ray.
That was on the docket.
Yeah, at some point we will do that, obviously. I don't know if I would use the VCI version or the Arrow Video Blu-ray. Both of them have their pros and cons. But
what the hell's, I never even heard of VCI.
VCI is a smaller company, really. They don't do that much, and they are not very well known for their good releases.
Well, why would they release?
Well,
something that's. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I don't
if
really.
the rights are cheap enough, then I
Well,
guess sure.
so
but
I don't want to go into it in too much detail, but basically, VCI actually has the rights to Blood and Black Lace. Arrow Video released it, and they actually got held up by those rights. Arrow Video kind of messed up the Blu-ray when they released it because they released it in the wrong aspect ratio. So people were really upset about that for the Blu-ray. Although their transfer is way better, like it's gorgeous on the Arrow Video side. On VCI side, they got the aspect ratio right, but their transfer is not that great.
So you mean to say I got to watch it in widescreen instead of letterbox as the filmmaker?
Well, so the original is 185-1, and the Arrow Video release is 166-1. So you can see that it's just fairly skewed. Yeah. Fairly skewed in the wrong direction, and like sometimes like people's faces are half cut off in their version. Okay. So they definitely did mess that part of it up. The VCI is correct in that regard, but their transfer is just not as good. Whereas probably for you and stuff, you're not like a huge like Blu-ray connoisseur / snob.
I would care.
Mm.
I would care if the aspect ratio was fucked up.
No, not the aspect ratio. The quality of the picture is not as good as Arrow's, but it's still not bad. It's not bad. It's just not as good.
I would say 80 years ago I wouldn't have cared, but now I probably
now
would.
You do.
Well, because it's nice. I like to look at my DVD collection now. It's like, oh, that's worthless trash I got. All that money I spent on like anime. Now it's like
Well, all of that just to say that I still really like Blood and Black Lace. It's a good thing we picked Blood and Black Rum, because I still like that movie. And you'll need to see it at some point. We'll do that soon.
Yeah.
We'll do that soon. It's a fun movie. And now getting away from that, because that's not our show at all. That would be where you would play one of those sound effects, like moving away from that because we were way off topic there.
Our show was supposed to be based off of Jallos and Z and B-list movies and stuff like that. Kind of get the show. Like I do like a little bit more of the Western side, and you get to do the Jallos, and we'll do like encompassing horror. We're moving into our we got to get some hits territory for the past
that's right,
like 2.5 years. The comic book movies,
and there's always room for those, right? Those have become a big cult film classic in the last few years. No, I'm just kidding. They're not really classics in that sense, but they are very popular.
Yeah, none of the DC films are classics.
No, nope. Yeah. Nope, they're not popular, but we still do them.
Can they have, you know how Marvel had Stan Lee until he unfortunately passed just a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
Can DC have Larry David? Just so
winding up in the background or something like.
Just so anytime something stupid happens, you just have him go shrug his shoulders and it'll zoom in on him like make it like a Where's Waldo and have it then zoom in on him and then just play the Curb theme dum 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 So when he's in the middle of Metropolis and Superman's about ready to kill Zod and a building's come crashing down and some people, he's just there
oh well, yeah, awkwardly in the background. Yeah. That would be nice. That would be fun. Yeah, well, we're back with another DC movie, and it's been a long time since any DC movie has really been released. The last one was Justice League, and if you remember, wasn't really our favorite movie.
8 months ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. It's almost surprising because at one point we were like, oh, we're kind of burnt out, and now there's really not been that much of a...
It's the same thing with Marvel. It's been a film every 3 months. Now it's going to be 8 months between Infinity War and Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah. So it's been a while since we've done a DC movie.
Well, because they were too busy filming... with Aquaman, they were too busy filming Cleopatra, the 7-hour, passion project of James Wan.
But we are back with Aquaman, and I'll start off by saying, surprisingly, Aquaman is probably my second favorite DC movie that's been released so far.
See, this is why, after watching the movie, and going in, already knowing the reviews, people are like, it's not that bad. But when you've... What is this? Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. So this is the sixth one. So the fact that this film, they're guys, it's not that bad. You know what that means? The bar has been incredibly lowered,
right?
And what people are saying for this film, yeah, it's not that bad. If this was like the first film to start this franchise, you'd be like, this is fucking pretty boring.
Yeah,
pretty not good.
I think the initial review saying it's not that bad would have been a little bit different if they had followed up Wonder Woman with Aquaman. Because Wonder Woman, once you saw it, you were like, you know what? DC didn't do that bad with this one. This one's not that bad. And then you went into Justice League, and you were thinking, okay, well, Wonder Woman really wasn't that bad. Maybe they're picking it up. Maybe they're figuring out what works and what doesn't, and they've done that with Justice League. And then you kind of get the same sort of smattering of bullshit that you got with Batman v Superman, and so you're brought back down again. It's like the stock market curve right now.
Well, because it's, Zack Snyder? Fuck.
Yeah.
Someone else. Okay. Then Zack Snyder? Fuck. And then, then someone else. Okay. So I can't remember who did Wonder Woman.
Patty Jenkins.
But it was, so you went from Zack Snyder. Fuck.
To Patty Jenkins.
I think you said Addie. I was like,
no, Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins. Okay. Then Zack Snyder. Fuck. And then you go to James Wan. You're like, maybe Jigsaw's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they got... Why couldn't Tobin Bell be Dolph Lundgren's character?
That's true. That is very true. Why couldn't... Yeah, they could have snuck him in there somewhere. He could have been one of the elders or something. Yeah.
Maybe he was the king of the crab people.
Yeah, we didn't know it.
The kingdom of the bride. You got Tobin Bell. I'd like to play a game with you.
But I do think that the whole thing with the review saying, it's not that bad. You, in particular, were thinking the worst. When you say it's not that bad, you're like, okay, but this is not even going to match, like, the worst part of, like, a Marvel movie because, even a not that bad DC film is still miles.
Think of a DC film. And again, it sucks to compare and contrast. It's not always fair, but you have to. As we said with like just about every one of these Marvel and DC reviews, at this point you're going to and you have to. And as we've stated before, neither of us really have a choosing in the comic book side.
Honestly, I would probably take DC over Marvel. In a comic book.
I don't read the comics. Ryan reads a little bit of it. If anything, he reads more Archie comics than anything. That great, Salem series and all that. Sabrina. But anywho, I would say I'm more of a DC fan and know a lot more about the DC universe because of the video games and the cartoons that I love to death. Mm-hmm. Haven't, like I said, 1,000 times in the show, never really read the comics because the continuity just pisses me off because I'm somebody that likes to start at ground zero and be like, kind of like with Doctor Who. I'll never start Doctor Who because it's a fucking clusterfuck and, wouldn't be able to do it. So that's, again, my perspective. But when it comes to the films, Marvel's got it beat. So when you watch Aquaman, what fucking Marvel film is as tedious as Aquaman?
Right.
Seriously, just think about it.
What one that would I say?
What is a Marvel film that you've left and going like, that's pretty tedious?
Black Panther would be probably like one of the Marvel films that I really didn't enjoy that much.
Lucky for you, you're getting Black Panther, the DC's version of Black Panther and Thor and Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings combined into one Jason Momoa.
Yeah. No, it's true. Aquaman really does take the basic premise of Black Panther, being that there's one person who is looking to start a significant war with basically humanity
the outsiders
and what they consider the outsiders, and becoming the ruler in order to make that decision. This is the exact scenario.
Now, to be fair,
Aquaman.
To Aquaman, Aquaman's been around longer than Black Panther. So the origin story of Atlantis and being the outside kingdom to humanity and the troubles that they get into with humanity compared to Black Panther's origin story of Wakanda, it's been around longer. But within the film universe and the recent films, Black Panther's got, beat it to the punch in the origin story.
Right.
So the whole setup of Aquaman is really just the same thing as Black Panther, but instead of Aquaman being near death, he escapes, freely, and then you add a Thor element of, instead of Mjolnir, it's the who the fuck cares what that trident
what the trident is called? Yeah.
Because it's a mile long trident of the deep sea of Atlantean,
basically Atlan's Trident is what we'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know the name of it, the special name of it.
call
But
it
I'm sure there's
Special
there is one.
Pitchfork.
It's like special golden
It's the
trident
it's the
surrounded
special,
by
it's the
Lord
special,
of the Rings style monster.
As I say, it's the special pitchfork that gives albums that most people would consider to be masterpieces mediocre reviews. That's what,
Yeah. But
it's a long way to go for a joke, but you know what?
It's true. It's true. No one was following that, but no, I'm just kidding. All right, yeah, let's take a break real quick. I don't want to go into that in too much detail because we've already talked about like some of the things that we want to bring up while we do this Aquaman review. So we'll take a break real quick. We'll talk about the beer that we've got on for today's show, and I've had this beer for a while. Been saving it up really, and we never got to do the show. So
Yeah, it's by the way, it's been 2 months. I still have that cough.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is like what the 4th show that we've done, and you still have a nasty ass cough.
Listen, it's intermittent now. Now it's just like the cold and certain
Now
things
it's
I've
not
said
like-
it. That's why I'm glad when I finally go to the doctor, I'm like, hey, can I get some antibiotics? And obviously, this isn't the cold anymore. It's Arthur's tuberculosis. Spoiler alert.
But we've got a new Belgium beer on the show. I think it's new. I've never really seen it around that much. They have a winter pack that's out, and I picked it up. And you know what? It's got quite a few interesting styles in there, so that's really why I wanted to grab it. And the one that we saved up for this show is the New Belgium Accumulation White IPA. And that one may not like sound that interesting to you, but for us, we really got into the white IPA style a while ago, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that.
Almost a decade.
It's
literally when we turned 21.
Yeah.
That New Year's was the one when I brought it over for the New Year's party.
And Saranac used to be making a great white IPA.
As far as I know, they're like the one and only that was doing it.
Yep.
And that's why it was interesting. I wanted to try this New Belgium White IPA. Because out of all the fucking cavalcade of stupid-ass IPAs and shit that they roll out, you know, for every IPA, the rainbow spectrum that there is, and all the different fucking hops, and, you know, there's a fucking champagne-style IPA now with, you know, New Belgium's got Brut IPA, and so is Sierra Nevada, which I had not that long ago. I don't ever see white IPAs.
Right.
And the only one I ever saw was the Saranac one before, and I really liked it. I thought it was a great idea, combining a Belgian wheat with an IPA. And it worked amazingly well. And for a little while, like a year and a half, it became a staple beer of theirs, and then they got rid of it. And it's never to be seen from again. And it makes me sad.
So that's why, you know, we were so interested to try the New Belgium White IPA, because it's like sort of a resurgence of that style. We haven't seen it around quite a bit. And New Belgium also makes a lot of like Belgian styles too. So it's combining two things that they do fairly well. The Belgian style, and then also they do a pretty good IPA, and then putting them together into one combination.
They are the geniuses that came up with the Hemperor.
Yeah.
Or at least the only
yeah.
hemp IPA that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a few out there, but yeah, the Hemperor is a really good style that they have kind of cornered the market on, at least in our area.
They're big. I mean, they are owned, I think, by InBev.
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why over the past couple of years, they never used to be something that we see around
it
here.
really expanded outward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with the Accumulation White IPA, what did you think of that? Like compared to the other white IPAs that you've had?
I mean, seeing as the Saranac's the only other one I've had, I would say it's a major letdown because it's not nearly Belgian weedy enough.
Mm-hmm.
From what, and again, it's been almost 8-9 years since I've last had Saranac's White IPA. So this is all going off of memory and great glasses of nostalgia to really, you know, brighten my memory of it. So, but from what I remember really having a very clear, noticeable, and delightful Belgian wheat, coriander, orange, and citrus taste to it, with it balanced out by being hoppy and crisp like an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
And it made for a great refreshing beer. Honestly, and it was in their winter pack. honestly, I could see it as a great summer style, because I think it was heavier on the alcohol, but it is like a nice, crisp, It was a crisp, refreshing beer with a nice hop take and a nice hop balance. Worked really well. This New Belgium doesn't really have any Belgian wheat or citrus or coriander or orange flavors to it. From what I mainly gather is a heavy malt front, and it's balanced out by the IPA side of it being not as hoppy and present. So it's really malty, and then you get that hop bitterness a little bit afterwards. Other than that, it's really, really lackluster, to be honest with you, in the flavor profile. So I'm kind of let down because I was really hoping for like a nice big, coriander and citrus taste to go with it. So yeah.
Yeah, I do think too that the Belgian aspect to it is a little bit missing. It just doesn't really have that snap of the coriander and the Belgian white style that really you come to expect from both New Belgium, because they do have a good Belgian white, which you are actually drinking right now. Mm-hmm. And then also, what a general white IPA or what the best ones that we've had taste like, because I don't really want a beer that sort of like a weedier version of an IPA. I want the actual Belgian characteristics to come out, the coriander, the citrusy flavor, the orangeness of it to pair with the hoppiness of the IPA. And I don't feel that the accumulation does that as well as what we've had previously. It's still a good beer. The Amarillo hops in it are still nicely done, and the malt texture is nice, but I just feel like
if you're going to make it really like a malt-forward IPA, just make it a red IPA.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they missed out.
Which red IPAs are really malt-forward, really, because, that's why it's colored, because it's really heavy on the malts and the grains,
Yeah. I just feel like they missed out on making it distinctive that this is a Belgian-style IPA, a Belgian wheat IPA.
I don't know. So I just want someone to... Maybe that's something for Stump City. When they're the next time they're asking, what should we
give it a try?
Brew next? Yeah. Tell them, hey.
A white IPA. Do it, yeah.
What else did you have? I didn't get to have it. You should talk about that. I was upset that I could have gone, but seeing as you're like, I'm already leaving because I got stuff to do because I'm a busy adult, So I just didn't bother. Though I did want to get my growler filled.
So I did check out, this weekend, some breweries had a special release party for Sierra Nevada's Resilience IPA.
Which, by the way, side note, a little sidebar here. I did not know they called the California wildfires that were going on for seemed like months on end campfire. Mm-hmm. A little tasteless.
Yeah.
Nothing that upsets me. A little bit something I think, a little questionable. Kind of made De Niro's Goodfellas right before he kills Billy Batch. Okay, as the face on that one.
Yeah.
It's like campfire, hey? Okay.
Yeah, there's two different fires, but one of them is called the campfire. Yeah. But the Resilience release party from Sierra Nevada basically is that the brewery's got the Resilience IPA from Sierra Nevada, which is a new basic IPA that they've created to sort of send funds to the California wildfire, whatever, they're collecting funds for those wildfires. So I did check out this Resilience IPA when I went to the brewery. And I thought that it was pretty good. It seems like really a standard style IPA. There's not that much that's really distinguished about it. Pretty generic. And even the other style of IPA that I had while I was there at Stump City, which is our local brewery, they have their own IPA, which is called the FJ&G, which is an acronym for a special railroad system that we used to have going through here. But their IPA tastes very, very similar to the Resilience IPA that was made by Sierra Nevada. So I thought that the Sierra Nevada Resilience IPA was good. I was glad to check it out, send some money their way for the campfire. But at the same time, I was a little disappointed with it that it wasn't anything more special than, basically somewhat malty style of IPA. Very, very similar to, any regular generic IPA that you would get. A little bit more hoppy than their pale ale, obviously, but other than that, not really that much that would make it stand out from other IPAs. One thing that I wanted to talk about too after the Resilience IPA, is that New Belgium in this pack also has a beer called the Mary Jane, which I think you just picked up right now. Yeah, they have a Mary Jane ale, which is a special ale that New Belgium brews for a specific mountain range, I believe. If you look on the right-hand side of that bottle, they brew that for the Colorado Winter Park
Resort
in
it's not just the park, it's the resort.
Yeah, the Winter Park Resort in Colorado. That's specifically brewed for that location. And I like the bottle because Mary Jane's a hottie on the bottle. A very 1970s-esque
I was gonna say
softcore porn movie of a woman that goes to a ski resort.
I was thinking
and then gets
you're
plowed by a bunch of guys.
God, I was gonna say nice like 1970s porn parody of the Bond film The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
So like The Spy Who Fucked Me.
There are quite a few 1970s porn films that take place at ski resorts. Like Snow Bunnies is one that stands out to me that I think Synapse Films released at one point. That is a porn film where they go to like a ski resort and that's your story for the porno. And that's exactly what that Mary Jane Pale Ale looks like. So the New Belgium beer, that's a pale ale, and it's actually really good.
What about Debbie Does Dallas?
Well, you know...
Is there a Debbie Does Colorado?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. That's there may be, surprisingly. But I really like that Mary Jane Pale Ale. I think, you know, that one stands out more to me in this pack than the white IPA does. So... that's one that I would like to point out for people who...
God, your hiccups are...
I always get the hiccups.
I know, but
I always get the hiccups.
They're great. You literally have the cartoon-esque... like
there's also bubbles coming out of my head.
Yeah, hiccup. Yeah. Like, you know, nice pink elephants from Dumbo.
Yeah, there's bubbles coming out of my head, too.
You don't make the noise. You just do the flinching movement and giant paws.
Well, I'm on air. I can't make the noise. Yeah. I can't do a large...
Oh, when I get hiccups, it's obnoxious. It's literally that.
So it's good that you don't get them.
Not that often, thank God.
So yeah, Mary Jane Pale Ale, check it out. I think it's really good, New Belgium. The Resilience IPA, okay, but not super impressive. And then the New Belgium Accumulation White IPA, again, all right, but just not a really great example of the white IPA style, at least in, you know, how we see it. So yeah. All right, ready to get into Aquaman? I know we saw this movie on Sunday, and when you're listening to this show, it'll be Friday. But when we're recording the show, it's Wednesday. So there's been a bit of space between when we saw the film and when we record the episode, and that normally happens when we have to actually go out to the theater to watch the movie. Martin wanted to do this episode like right away. He wanted to go home. It was like 10 o'clock, you know, because Aquaman's like 4.5 hours long, and he wanted to go home and really just record the podcast right then because it was fresh in his mind. He had some rants going on. He was ready for it. He bought the Brute IPA. He was all good. But we didn't end up doing that because I have a job that I have to go to the next day on Mondays. So
not that early. So it was you would have been fine.
It was just not going to work out.
You're not like me getting up at 2:45 in the morning.
Well, so. when our podcasting sessions go for 3 hours,
we haven't done that in a while.
I know.
But they usually do involve DC films or Terminator. So
yeah. But so my point being, it's been a little while since we saw Aquaman.
It's been a while,
but it's still pretty fresh in my mind. So I'm ready to get in there and talk about it.
Yes.
And I will start out with the point that we made in the introduction because I think it's pretty easy to go from there about the rest of the film. Is that Aquaman, James Wan's version of this,
does not have Amber Heard's titties.
Well, that too, but
she's wearing.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
As I say, she's wearing as unflattering of an outfit throughout.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little while, but first, I just want to get into the point that Aquaman is very much like Black Panther, and yet Aquaman has been in production for a long time. If you remember when Justice League came out, Aquaman was already nearly completing production, I believe, at that time, because James Wan released a statement saying, you know that shitty water that was in Justice League? Yeah, that's not in Aquaman.
So when they go underwater and fight, you know, magic carpet ride Steppenwolf in Justice League, it's not Atlantis.
That's not Atlantis? Is that what you're saying? Are you asking that?
Yeah, I'm asking, because there's the whole underwater fight with the Atlanteans.
I'm assuming
in Justice League. But in this movie, Aquaman's like, I've never been to Atlantis. Well, no,
And
I'm emoting a little too much for Jason Momoa. I've never been to Atlantis.
Yeah. I think therein lies a big problem with DC movies is that Marvel
has it mapped out.
Reportedly very, very, very
detailed.
Like detail-oriented about what's going to happen. So you get a director in there. The director has... some say about how regular scenes are going to be paced, how it's going to work out, how you're going to take the script and translate it into a film. But they have a second director of photography that basically does all of the action scenes because they want them to be completely,
that look like
continuous
shit.
With other films in the series. So you don't get like ridiculous effects that don't match other movies in the Marvel lineup, and you don't get like weird angled shots and stuff that don't seem to match with any of the other action scenes in Marvel movies. DC has none of that. They have no one behind the scenes going, let's make sure this matches up with Justice League.
They did. They make sure to make it dark and stormy and gloomy on.
They do
for the final boss fight.
They do have one person on set design who's like dark in it, flames,
rain. That's another thing too. That outside of Man of Steel, none of these DC films have like civilian stakes. They're always DC is Dragon Ball Z. They always are able to find some far off island away from civilization to have their pitched battle.
Yeah.
So it's literally outside of Man of Steel where the fight in Metropolis. Everything else like Wonder Woman. It's on some army base. It's away from people. Justice League, it's in the pits of hell and Steppenwolf. Here, it's like it's on a ship out at sea and there's no people out there.
It's like in the deepest trench of the ocean. Yeah. But what I was getting at here is that, as James Wan himself pointed out during Justice League's release, they really don't have anybody who's looking at continuity between films and saying, like, make sure that the water...
Why wouldn't you have the same effects team?
Right?
Or like them corresponding, like, hey, what does your water look like? Because it's 2019. If you don't know by now, the internet's kind of a big thing, and a lot of people like to nitpick shit to death. So you would think someone would be like, hey, you might want to make sure your water looks the same, and all this other stuff looks similar. And
in this case, though, it is for the best that the people from Justice League doing that water did not make it over to Aquaman, because Aquaman's special effects water is way, way better, like 100 times better than Justice League's. If you remember, Justice League's looked ridiculous.
But this film also has a lot of bad effects too.
Well,
the whole
movie is effects almost.
Well, that's part of the problem. At least with Marvel films, they look seamless. Like Doctor Strange, though CGI was like, wow, that looks really fucking cool. The way they're bending time and all that. Here, it's like, when Jango Fett and his Nicole Kidman dressed up as, old woman Nicole Kidman are on the fucking beachfront property in Boston, But you're like, wow, that's a terrible blue screen in the background for that,
that shot of the vista.
Every time they do it, it looks fucking terrible. It literally looks like a Bond, like at the end of Thunderball, and when they're having the end ship fight, and you can totally tell, it's a blue screen, and they just got a ship wheel in the front, and it's just steering out of control, and it looks so fake and terrible. That's what that looks like. It looks awful. So the water looks cool, but most of the effects in this look like dog shit.
I definitely have to give it to Aquaman, though, in that they had a lot to do with the effects themselves. And this is effectively, as you said, sort of like a point at the point where you're like, why even try to do it in like actual, live action like scenes? Because at this point, you're merging so much with just CGI that you might as well go the Injustice route and just have it all, done in animation and have that be the movie, because some of these scenes, like underwater, all of that was CGI. Having the hair flow and having, all of the fish float by.
I literally compare it to like the Star Wars prequels, where it's literally nothing but just green, like George Lucas, like Lucas Manor, green screen, and like, okay, Natalie and Hayden, you're gonna walk around and pretend like there's a pretty Naboo Vista in the background. There's a bunch of stuff going on. You're having this tearful soliloquy. Okay,
It's actually
that's what these films have become. It's like, okay, guys, just let's pretend, a lot of. Just imagine the guys like that got to be like standing in front of the blue screen. Like, you're gonna be the guy that gets copied a billion times, and you gotta just sit there with a stick, like swinging it around, like, look at me, I'm fighting, and that's gonna get copied and pasted over and over,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
This is actually.
at least Disney, they have industrial light and magic behind them, so they can do anything, for God's sakes. They've been making great effects since the original Star Wars, so they got ILM on their side. Apparently, Warner Brothers has a bunch of film students and art, art designers. Students.
I gotta say though, I think that Aquaman. I think we're being a little harsh on it. Aquaman probably is one of the better looking films in the DC franchise. I think it's
not as good as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, maybe not as good as Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman is also a bit more practical too. Like, there was a lot more practical effects in that movie, whereas Aquaman has the constantness of being underwater. So that in itself is an effect. I mean, every time they're underwater, that's an effect. You don't have Jason Momoa just sitting around with like an oxygen tank and like taking it off and breathing out. But all of those scenes where underwater effects take place are actually well done. And the biggest thing that we have to criticize about the special effects themselves is when they have either a green screen background like you noted, or when constant fight scenes take place that you can tell it's like set in a virtual reality where you have Injustice-like characters that are just bouncing off of each other. And those are like the two big things that are really issue with.
Except Injustice is good.
Those are the big issues with the effects, and then also the constant smattering of like, there's lava flowing out of this underground volcano. Let's make it dark and stormy underwater too. Those things are things that gotta go. We gotta get away from that.
The next boss fight for the next whatever film's coming, Cyborg, cannot be in a dark, dingy, unlighted area with a storm.
Yeah, it just can't.
Infinity War had it on the bright, colorful Titan.
Yeah,
this thing,
we gotta get away from those. Like, I understand why they do it because it hides
brooding Frank Miller-esque,
yeah,
pissed off.
Next time, just set it in black and white with only red colors coming out. But I understand why they do it because the CGI, it hides the CGI seams basically. You know what I mean? It hides. The blackness is like, you can't really make it out. So it's like, yeah, maybe it could be a real person. Maybe it's CGI. Can't really tell. But at the same time, you can't tell anything that's happening.
So have better CGI.
True. But I will say that as we talk about this, we kind of get away from the special effects here. I think that
go back to the Black Panther point.
I think that Aquaman special effects are probably one of the better ones in the DC franchise so far.
It's still not saying much.
It's not saying much, but I still think they're better than everything else that's come before it. Especially like when you compare it to like Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, going back to the Black Panther point, storyline is completely Black Panther-esque. You have, but the thing is, at least Black Panther was able to focus on one idea, one thing, being the main event of the movie. Whereas Aquaman is like, yeah, maybe we'll have some guy who's trying to take control of all the kingdoms in Atlantis, but then maybe we'll also have Black Manta who will start in this movie and try to make him into a big...
I think you got that mixed up. It starts off with Black Manta.
Well, true, yeah, but it does. But I'm just saying, like, combining them, you're like, well, let's have a guy who, let's have Patrick Wilson with a terrible blonde hair dye and slicked back in this film.
That's how you know he's evil.
Yeah, and he'll be the evil guy who wants to combine all the kingdoms and become the king of the kingdoms. And that'll be like your Black Panther moment.
Use your Killmonger.
With your Killmonger. And then, actually, you know what? Let's bring Black Manta in, because Black Manta is a huge part of Aquaman's as a comic series. So let's bring Black Manta in. Oh yeah, but we haven't touched on all the other places in underneath the sea in Atlantis and everywhere. So let's bring in all of the trench monsters from the first arc of the New 52 Aquaman. And we'll put those in there too. And then, actually, you know what? Let's also have a giant sea monster. Because that obviously has to guard Atlan's special trident. But then also, let's have these briny deep sea monsters.
Well, no, that's because that makes sense though, because they're the kingdom of the brine. So in the whole conquest of uniting,
there's so much. It's a lot.
I know. Well, it's again, as I told you, this is one thing about superhero movies that pisses me off. It's guys, come in, little fireside chat.
Get a little closer.
Little closer. Little fireside chat here for a second. It's okay to have just one villain. It's
absolutely okay.
You don't need to go the Spider-Man 3 route and blow your load and have like 5 villains. You can. So this film should have just had Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need Black Manta.
I think even if you had gone with Black Manta towards the end of the film and just sort of had that become your end credit sequence, or hinting at Black Manta will be
you can do what they did in the intro of like Aquaman leaving him for death and shit.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't need to be the one of the 2 main villains in this film.
Low rent under the sea version of Deathstroke.
Yeah.
That's what he is in this, Might as well just start playing like do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what he is. He's like, all right, we'll pay you in Atlantean doubloons, and which is great. When he's like here's your Atlantean power suits and Atlantean weaponry, and you'll get Atlantean treasures. And he's like, ooh. What's he gonna do with the fucking doubloons?
Yeah.
Like, oh look, I got Atlantean doubloons. Someone's gonna be like, yeah, that's fake.
Yeah, I mean, what does he do with them? Yeah, how
does he cash them in? But anywho, point is, so you're right. That would have been a much better end credit sequence than what we got. Spoiler. The crazed barely that we saw on the movie. The guys like, Atlantis is real. Atlantis is real. People are like, fool. You don't know what you're talking about. And then like he's the one that saves,
Black Manta.
And now what are they gonna be fucking like Ant-Man and Wasp? Like, oh look at that, But no, pointless. Black Manta's part in this whole film, fucking pointless.
It clearly is set up for more of Black Manta in the future. But what the thing with the superhero movies really trying, and especially DC films, trying to overstuff themselves, is that you get to a point where you've tackled a lot of arcs from the comics that you don't have anymore to make anything into like a comic-based plot in the future. So when you're talking about Black Manta is a huge part of Aquaman. So why include him as a super minor character that really seems like he's useless against Aquaman in this movie?
Well, it's the same thing too that Batman v Superman has an issue. Why bring Doomsday in?
Yep.
Why kill Superman off from the get-go and do that storyline in the last 20 minutes of the film? You literally took something that could have been the first Justice League film, not fucking Steppenwolf, but fucking Doomsday or something of the like. And, because right now, the whole point, well, I guess the whole point with Steppenwolf was to, introduce the idea of boom tubes and, and the new gods, so we can eventually get the dark side, which, that's another thing that these films aren't doing. They're not, with what the Marvel films over time started doing, introducing at the end credits Thanos, and,
working towards a goal.
So, obviously, at some point, the end game for one of the Justice League films, whether it be the Justice League 2 or 3 or whatever, is going to be Darkseid. But at this point, and how kind of slow they're going, it's when are we going to see any signs of that?
Yeah.
And again, I mean, no offense to Steppenwolf, you're digging for that as your first Justice League film? That's what you drug up?
Yeah.
It's just
really low hanging fruit there.
Well, I mean, it's just
someone that most people probably wouldn't even recognize.
I know, but I'm saying like I said, could it have been Doomsday? It couldn't have been Gorilla Grodd, even though how ridiculous that would be. But Grodd's a pretty big, Justice League villain. It's just annoying. It just annoys me because as I was watching the Aquaman film, and this is gonna be a little sidebar rant here. It's just as I've watched all these DC films, I'm just having Dr. Evil from the first Austin Power like movies, like you just don't get it, do you? You just don't get it, Scotty. Scotty being DC,
Yeah,
and Warner Brothers. You don't get it.
they're
Like
not.
you're totally like just like fucking things up from the get go.
I think too with like Aquaman, as we talked about. There's a moment in the beginning of Aquaman where it's not really clear where this takes place. Does this take place before Justice League? Does this take place after Justice League?
It does take place after,
right?
Justice
And
League.
then after you get into it a little bit, you realize, okay, this takes place after Justice League, which begs the question: there's no stakes here at this point. Justice League has already happened. The big things have already happened, and now we're on to Aquaman.
And my question was to you, is like, okay, when all this is going on, where's Superman? You mean the Man of Steel can literally, he's already now, they're all everyone in the Justice League, they're all fucking buddies. You know what I mean? To hear he's like, you think he's just sitting in a bathtub giggling with fucking, Lois Lane? Like, oh, my buddy's got this, don't worry. This is gonna be his character arc.
That I can kind of, I mean, that's something you just have to realistically get over. Like, Superman doesn't interact with like Batman stuff most of the time. He does sometimes, but most of the time,
Well, that's different,
You just
'cause
kind of let Batman go by himself.
Well, that's different.
Go be Batman,
Well, that's
Batman.
different because Batman's
Go be a miserable shit.
I'll say that's different. Again, that's different though because generally Batman's villains are at the human level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where,
No,
so for
I think that's,
obviously if like Batman was dealing with some like fucking brainiac, then Superman would be like, okay, yeah, time to get involved, right? So or like the whole fact that Atlantis is planning on destroying all us land dwellers, Superman has vested stakes to be like, you fix this shit right,
True.
or come down.
I mean,
because he's, that's what he does.
on the scale of nitpicks, Aquaman has way bigger problems than like does Superman or does he not get involved in this? I think, but yeah, you're right. I mean, Superman probably would have an ear cocked to under the water.
Like I said, the only thing I can think of is like he's sitting there like fucking Lois Lane, like, oh, my boy Jason Momoa.
He's got it.
This is his character.
Yeah,
arc.
he's got it right now.
He'll
handle it.
He can unite them.
Yeah.
He's the chosen one. Why? Because Nicole Kidman had sex with Django Fett.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even realize that until I saw Red Letter Media's video on
That's
the movie.
him.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's why I was saying when I was watching. I'm like, God, he looks so fucking familiar. I'm like, oh, that is Django Fett.
I didn't recognize, but all I could think of when I saw him was that he's gonna go back home and watch a hockey game.
I know, that was great when the whole scene when the fucking sea sweeps Aquaman and Dad's old pickup boy, driving home from the bar late at night, like, oh shit, we're gonna miss the Bruins game.
I know, that's all I could think of when I saw his dad and how he dressed with his little skull cap on. And
I just love the fact I run a lighthouse. What year is this? 1840. You got some whaling ships from Moby Dick, to make sure they get to shore.
runs a lighthouse, yeah. So I will say that like
Passamaquoddy from Pete's Dragon.
I mean, one of the things that I think is the problem in Aquaman is that there's just too much stuff going on. You got
it. It's 2.5 hours long.
Right, it's too long.
It's like I said. It's like they're like, hey, we're gonna make Ben-Hur.
You gotta.
Get Charlton Heston. We'll make it a nice 6 hour. We'll have an intermission. Everyone's gonna get popcorn. It'll be,
You've got too many villains. There's no need to go to all 7 kingdoms.
I disagree. I think that's actually a good idea because I think I'm fine with the whole it being similar to Black Panther in plot premise of but it's slightly turned on its ear by the fact that he's the outsider. So in this sense, he's Killmonger. He's the banished one. Where Patrick Wilson's,
Right,
Black Panther.
He's actually he's not a half breed, basically.
But their roles are reversed in personality wise.
No, I'm cool with that, too.
So I'm fine. So I'm fine with that. And in Black Panther, the difference was he gets his ass beat, loses the kingdom, and is left for dead. And so then he's got a redemption story of gaining his strength back and taking the fight back to him to what's his.
Right.
Here, we don't have that because you have fucking Aquaman run chicken shit heel and just be like, oh, I'm gonna run away,
My trident broke.
Amber Heard's like, gotta save him,
Yeah.
And
Amber Heard actually seems like her character has like some fucking unstoppable powers. She can basically just use water at her leisure to
She's
do
a
whatever
water-
she wants.
I know, she's a waterbender. But,
Great.
From
Like,
Avatar.
she's probably stronger than Aquaman.
But so again, so the fact that they run off and they introduce this whole idea of like, well, if you had the Atlantis trident, you could win because you would be able. He's the only one that was able to.
Basically, because it wouldn't break. That's the biggest issue with Aquaman. Is like, shit, my trident broke. Like, what am I gonna fight with now?
Yeah,
That's the biggest issue.
So, and then it has like this great magical power that they don't even bother to explain. So it's not like, well, okay, fine. They said it was like forged in like one of the kingdoms, so that it's kind of, you know, at least
It's also been probably infused with the calcium of Atlantis depleting bones. So,
they've been holding on to it for a millennia, just like,
Yeah.
you know. But so I'm fine with it then making it fucking Indiana Jones because Amber Heard's got the outfit for it.
I'm cool with that too. I really
Just
am.
and just go globe trotting, and even have the little plane like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, they
you
do.
know.
Yeah.
So I'd be fine with that.
cool
But
with that too.
But the fact that they literally 40 minutes of the film's like wasted away on Black Manta's bullshit, and that, you know.
Well, and not even discussing the fact of that whole really outlandish, emotional scene with Black Manta and his father, and it's like, your father's an asshole. Did you not just see everybody getting killed on the pirate ship?
I was more
On the submarine?
I was more fixated on the fact that it's the 2000s, and I'm expected to believe that the Russian Navy still has 1960s, you know, Penguin from the Batman TV series
Naval outfits,
you know, striped V-neck outfits. Like, you should ask your
They've
brother.
got like 1960s.
I say you should
pinups.
ask. I say you should ask your brother-in-law who's in the Navy and work. You know,
He did wear those, but not the blue suits. He wore tan suits with the
yeah, but not
naval
the
cap.
striped
No, not the
V-necks.
striped V-necks, no.
Yeah, no. So I mean,
No, that was funny. But yeah, the whole like part of the film, it does ask us in the beginning to be like emotionally attached
Sympathetic.
to Black Manta, and it's like this guy. We just saw this guy like protract a blade from his arm and slice through an innocent submariner for
the captain of the yeah.
for basically nothing, and it was like. Why am I supposed to feel sympathetic for his dad dying?
Literally,
It's like,
when his dad was like sitting there with the grenade and or bomb, and about to, you know, blow up, and he's like, "Go, son, get that bastard," you know, and he's like, "Okay, Paul," you know. I was expecting. Why didn't they should just like cut to Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, be like, survive. Survive. And by the way, when he blows that doesn't like rupture another hole in the hull of the submarine.
I don't understand the blowing it up thing. I don't get it. Like, why?
Well,
so you don't have to die of drowning?
I mean, what would you rather?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if
I think if I remember correctly from previous science videos I've watched, I think drowning in salt water is a lot more painful. Because I guess the way like it gets intaked into your body, so you're a lot more conscious
maybe
for it than in fresh water. So it's a very slow and I don't know.
But it also put his son in like unnecessary danger.
They're robbing fucking submarines. I think he should.
But that whole thing was like 20 minutes of really unnecessary. First of all, so many guitar riffs as Aquaman pulls out another one-liner.
It's like a fucking Saved by the Bell episode. Like, you know, like when Zach Morris is being a piece of shit, you know, like he's like, oh gee.
Did that scene to you seem like it almost was shot at a different time than the rest of the movie?
And they probably
they were like, they went in a different direction, but they wanted to include it for Black Manta's backstory. It kind of seemed like it because like
wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
It definitely seemed like there was some differences between how that was shot and how it was scored.
But at the same time, I mean, I could see them like, all right, Aquaman, who's one of his biggest villains? Black Manta. All right, we're gonna start a thing with Black Manta, and like halfway through, probably shooting like, oh shit, he ain't the king of Atlantis yet. We haven't told that story. That should probably be told first. And they're like, fuck, you know, like
pulling things, swapping
you know,
things
like,
around, and
because I mean, if you think about it, how stupid would it be? The first Aquaman movie, and we don't get to. He's the king of, you know, he united Atlantis, and they're gonna work together with the surface world.
Right, because he never has his Aquaman suit either.
He's too busy being in a fucking lighthouse with Da, watching, you know, the Bruins. Hey, you know,
drinking with bikers.
Listen,
bikers on a coastal town.
Yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go down. saw a state trooper. I talked to him. It's going to help us out a little bit. Get some Gansets. We go to the bar. And then when we get to the bar and we drink some more Gansets, we're going to watch the Celtics play. Celtics looking good this year. Getting to win the East, huh? That's what I need from Jason Momoa. You know what they should have had? They should have had fucking Matt Damon play him. Or,
they probably should have, yeah, because Jason Momoa...
Because he's a native Bostonian, and so when watching him in The Departed,
he's got it, yeah, he knows how to do it.
It's great when you get to hear Ben Affleck, break out of, but he's already Batman. He's protecting Gotham.
Yeah, you can't do both. Yeah. But yeah, with Jason Momoa, he's really does not have a range at all. He has no.
Just imagine
accent,
you're Aquaman with a heavy Boston accent. Yeah. Just imagine, Dad, get in the car. Get in the truck. Come on, we gotta go. Bruins on. We gotta get out of here. Bruins on at night. Come on.
That would be pretty fun, actually. I would think it would add a little bit more pathos to Aquaman, because at this point, really,
he's just a grizzly man.
I mean, there's really no, even in the scenes where Aquaman tries to push like a more empathetic version of this character,
the first 20 minutes,
Arthur, as more of a human, he's half human, half Atlantean, so they try to push that more human aspect of it. It's like Jason Momoa's not even human. How do you expect him to come across as half human in this film when he's not human? But then they also have the whole love interest with Mera. Obviously, anybody who knows Aquaman knows that Arthur and Mera are in love.
Happens just overnight,
right? But I mean, if you're with Amber Heard long enough like that, I mean, like, of course you're gonna fall in love with like the red hair and everything. Yeah. She's like beautiful in this film. It's just like, and then they
minus that white baggy tracksuit she's wearing.
Even when they put her in Indiana Jones's oversized attire, she's still beautiful in this film.
I mean, but it's also hurt by the fact when they get to Sicily and they start playing some Roy Orbison. And I love Roy Orbison. I love that song. She's a mystery to me, but goddamn, was that like the most inappropriate? That's like even worse than Suicide Squad's like
the constant rock songs.
Yeah, like inappropriate rock. Yeah, no, that was like, what are you doing? Like, what 15-year-old went to see Aquaman? And it's like they were sitting. I guarantee, because you're my age and you don't know who any Roy Orbison song, probably outside of Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah. So I'm like. No,
I did not know that song.
Yeah, what do you do? No, why? No,
because she ate roses. Okay, she's a mystery.
Oh, so you're right. She's Ariel.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Why didn't they have her grab a fork too and be like, "What's this? A dingle hopper? Dingle hopper."
But I think like even those scenes of trying to like give Arthur a more human aspect to them are really hurt by the fact that Jason Momoa, like, he's good at doing like his one-liners. He's good at doing action
sure about
scenes.
That?
Well, I mean, he's all right. He's all right at doing one-liners. He's good at doing action scenes when they're not using a CGI stand-in. But to actually deliver a necessary like charismatic line or romantic line. No.
Well, his dad is Jango Fett, so he doesn't have any charisma.
And the biggest issue is having
Nicole Kidman, a charisma void. Yeah. That's perfect parenting, because if we learned anything from that overly long 25-minute opening narration of how fucking old man Winter and Nicole Kidman became, love interest. Which, again, that was, like, tedious as all hell, just watching that intro of, like, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, that's...
narrating that.
Jason Momoa narrating anything is not a good thing. Never should have. Like, no one is going to run out now and be like, Jason, we wanted to recruit you for Audible, for audiobooks. No one is going to do that. No.
We need you to do A Tale of Two Cities. Your bland voice will fit that Dickens narration.
Instead of like promoting reading, Audible would be like, having trouble sleeping? We've got the book for you.
Moby Dick,
read by Jason Momoa. Yeah.
Oh god.
With all the charisma of a starfish. One person who does have charisma is Willem Dafoe in this film.
And
I always like Willem Dafoe.
I know.
He
was expecting Bill Murray to show up and him being like, "Thanks for not picking me."
He does have like the sort of same style from The Life Aquatic in this movie.
I was thinking take that and Loki.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching, that's one thing I got wrong about this film. I was thinking, like, at any moment, you're going to find out he betrayed them.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like it's leading up to that in some ways.
So the fact that I think eventually he will, and down the line.
He's like a double agent somehow.
I mean, outside of Life Aquatic, name a Willem Dafoe movie where he's not...
Yeah, it's
his name, Dafoe.
Yeah, he's normally like Spider-Man. The Raimi Spider-Man.
The only Spider-Man.
Yeah. And so, he really does most of the time play like a villain character because he does have that villainous look to him. His facial features.
And voice.
Yeah,
they gravelly.
It does come out like that. But in this film, he does have charisma. He is likable. And there is that great scene where, we get the flashback sequence where he's teaching Arthur on how to do,
a water wheel.
Basically a big water shield. And then Arthur uses it in the finale against what's it Patrick Wilson's name?
King
Orm.
I was going to say King Who Gives a Shit.
Yeah, I forget. He uses it against Orm, and there's that great scene of Juan zooming in on Willem Dafoe, looking as proud as hell. Just super proud, smiling, giving a nice little grin, because he's like, yeah, he used it, didn't he?
What movie does that remind you of?
Silent Night, Deadly Night. It does. It like that.
They almost were going. I heard from James Wan they were going to use Wormside at the door for that fight sequence, but they couldn't get the rights.
They should have. Yeah,
it would have made great sense because there'll be thunder and light. There was thunder and light.
Yeah, it would have fit right in with that. Yeah, and you know what too? The only thing that they didn't get right with Willem Dafoe is he doesn't do a nod. He just has he's kind of serious and all of a sudden a little grin, a smirk crosses his face. They should have done the nod too. He needed a nod and just like, yeah, I taught him that. Would have been great. But that whole scene, like that coming out of nowhere, pretty much made Aquaman for me just watching it. I loved it.
But yeah, he serves as Arthur's mentor.
Yep.
We get to see flashbacks of him coming to land. These Caribbean vistas.
Yeah.
Somewhere outside of Boston. Outside the harbor. Showing Arthur how to use a trident and how to swim and, all that good shit. He out of like all the characters in this film, he's the only one I really find to be enjoyable. But even as I say that, and I said that after we got done watching the film and you were waiting for the end credits to play, you can tell he's banking it in.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot for him to do in this movie. He delivers some key exposition. One of them in a very, very generic pirate ship that's apparently underwater in Atlantis.
If you're highborn or whatever, you can breathe air and underwater. That's why the Atlantean soldiers wear those suits filled with water.
Because they can only use their whatever. I mean, I guess that they would be considered gills that they have. But that one pirate ship that they have their secret meeting in is so very generic. Like
they should have had the Dinglehopper
like
there.
Walt Disney World-esque. Like here's the set of this is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and we've made a pirate ship for it. And here's because they've even went to the trouble of like scattering doubloons on the floor. Like no one was like, "Fuck these doubloons! They're in my way. I'm cleaning them up."
Do you think they were thoughtfully scattered, or they picked like a Microsoft Paint, like generic pirate background?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird though, because it's like, why would they leave this? They have this. They specially set up this area, this pirate ship. They blocked it off, so it's only air within the inside of it. Because they have to swim to it, and then there's an air bubble, air pocket inside, so that no one else can come in. And they have like this very generic pirate ship. Like, who did somebody go in there and like intentionally design it to look like a pirate ship?
Now, do you think that after seeing this movie, that Trump saw this movie and was like, my wall needs auto-targeting
Oh, yeah,
cannons.
what do they call those? They call them something specific in the movie. I can't remember.
I don't know. Low rent Star Wars turbo
Right, yeah.
lasers.
Yeah, like laser shooting. Yeah, they call them something.
Impenetrable.
Yeah.
Thousands of people trying to get in and they, can't.
And as they make it clear in the movie, they're useless anyway. You're not stopping people from getting in or out.
Well, because Amber Heard's,
Amber Heard's piloting, and she's got the moves. And if you've seen those moves, wait till you see the bedroom moves that she's got.
A little careless whisper there.
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about is the music in this film.
Fucking terrible.
The music is all over the place.
Outside of the Roy Orbison song, which I liked, but I was thinking...
And that I don't even really count as music because that's just an outside
Source.
song. That wasn't, orchestrated for this film. One thing I will give Aquaman is that it at least does follow in the same style as Wonder Woman's soundtrack. Because Wonder Woman has that, very... recognizable score with the violin for Wonder Woman's theme.
I would
and
say
Aquaman does still use like the violin strengths.
I would say for this soundtrack, for the most part, it sounds like they watched a Botchamania video and plugged in some classic Sega and SNES songs. So a lot of the songs sound like fucking something you hear in Sonic or Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Like, and then those nice little guitars, unnecessary guitars, just smattered throughout the film. These guitar stings at inappropriate moments.
Yeah, and that's why I said, the guitar stings, they do happen in the later parts of the film, but that first 20-minute
They're
scene,
fucking
it's like all over the place. The guitar. Oh yeah, you're talking about like the bassy sort of like THX sound effects that come out of nowhere.
Oh, that's what I said that shit was going to be the intro.
Oh yeah, the THX sound effects.
No, not from Tiny Toons, the Tiny Toons movie. Oh no, sad promo, and they all duck.
Yeah.
It's like thud. The audience is now deaf. Literally, what that first like fucking whole submarine fight and every fight sequence afterwards had like boom. There's no slow mo or anything going on or anything transition from what was happening. It's just
yeah. It is that like sustained bassy note that they
like
play.
Somebody fell asleep on a fucking Moog synthesizer.
And that leads us to probably one of the greatest surprises of this movie. Is there is not one, not two, not three, maybe not even four, but like at least 5 surprise explosions out of nowhere. Surprise explosion.
Plot convenience.
Exactly. Having a great romantic moment. Surprise explosion.
On a submarine fighting to the death. Surprise explosion.
It happens.
They just needed Sergeant Dokes from fucking Dexter. Like, surprise, motherfucker. And then they have
I mean, once or twice, okay, it works. It's a surprise. It gets the audience. Like 5 or 6 times, you've really outlived like any of the effectiveness of having a surprise explosion at that point. At this point, the audience is like, there's gonna be another surprise explosion. It's like gonna happen. I'm expecting it. At the end credits, surprise explosion like blows James Wan's name out of the credits, and
would have been better
surprise explosion.
Would have been better than the end credits part that we got.
I mean, the one thing that is in this film that makes Aquaman really cheesy is just the constant surprise explosion just happening all over the place. It's unbelievable that no one was like, James, this is like the 6th one we've done. Like,
we're not even halfway through the movie.
You don't want to try something else? A different kind of surprise? That is one thing. It's like comical. It becomes comical after a while. It's like, another one? Another one? Another one? And not only is it a surprise explosion, but it's the same surprise explosion. It's, yet again, more of those stormtrooper-esque guys in water suits bursting through a wall with like whatever guns they have.
They should have had a surprise explosion to kill off Jango Fett, at the White House. Just like sitting there watching.
They're having their nice reuniting kiss
watching
on the dock with the green screen.
Watching the Bruins play, Nicole Kidman's a big Bruins fan too. They're just sitting there like, watching the game, and that is Zdeno Chai. He's going to take a shot at the point, and at the power play, and then boom,
surprise explosion.
She's dead.
They could have had a surprise explosion through the green screen. Surprise! It's been a green screen the whole time.
I think
they don't live in the
surprise explosion is what made Arthur.
Yeah, that is probably true. That is probably true. But there are way, 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 way too many surprise explosions in this movie. It's just way out of control after a while. Just so many. Something that really stands out throughout the film.
It's pretty bad.
I really am surprised no one was like, this is an excess now. It's okay to do that in Insidious. You have constant jump scares. In a superhero film, not so much. We're gonna cut some of those out. But yeah, Aquaman could have used cutting in general. It's
too long.
It's way too long. At 2 hours and 23 minutes.
They literally should, like I said before, they should have just divided this up into two movies. Have one movie be about him becoming the king of Atlantis, and another film where he deals with Black Manta.
Yeah.
There's not enough in this film to make a Black Manta movie.
Not at what it's included right now.
But there's I think, you can make it enough to be like 90 minutes to 2 hours long for both films, and you get a more cohesive and enjoyable plot. Because they're just, like I said, this movie just goes all over the place. We're first getting an origin story of how Arthur was, he was born as the Aquaman, which I find funny that in Justice League, he's up somewhere in fucking Iceland at an Icelandic bar listening to Bjork songs, or whatever the fuck, where Batman finds them, and now he's back in Boston, and the harbor, watching the Bruins play, and we get his little origin narrative back bullshit, which literally could have you didn't need the narration. Mm-mm. Cut it out. Just have play. The whole.
We get the gist of it without needing Jason Momoa to tell it to us.
We're not stupid. And then just have it be like how he's been doing his thing on his own and being known as Aquaman, and then lead into how he gets to Atlantis and what happened to his mother. And then why he's got to fight to become the king, because he's the chosen one. He's the real king of Atlantis.
Yeah.
Which, there's nothing to signify why he would be the real chosen one. Because yes, even though he was the firstborn, as Patrick Wilson also points out several times, he's a bastard. So, he wouldn't be the next in line anyway. But, and just have it be focused on that. And then do your little Indiana Jones fucking globe trying to get the trident, and we get to visit some of the other kingdoms and all that, and that would be a fine 2 hour movie. And then leave Black Manta to the next film where he's a pirate and he discovers Atlantis, and
you can expand more on his character and what he does,
and how he's able to outsmart Arthur, and
because after the first 20 minutes, Black Manta's gone for almost half the film,
and then he's like, oh,
and then he does a few things, and then he's gone again for the rest of the film. So it's really a waste of him, and it's just a setup where they could have really just hinted at that and then done it more in another movie.
Like that whole fight scene in Sicily.
Yeah.
Went on for fucking ever.
Yeah, and you went to the bathroom and you came back still going on. Yeah. And I mean, it was a pretty good choreographed scene, especially with them running through walls and shit. But yeah, it's too long. And I think part of the problem with the DC films now, or actually any superhero film, is that people kind of expect them now to be 2.5 hours long. And that should not be the expectation. The expectation should be it's as long as we need it to be. And in the case of the Avengers movies, maybe they do need to be, as we're getting into it, maybe they do need to be 2.5 hours long. But Aquaman certainly does not, especially when you don't want to overstuff it. What they did here was they said, we need more and more and more, and they overstuffed it and became 2.5 hours long, and really became clear throughout the film that it didn't need to be. And I think that was an issue, and perhaps it did come from early rights where it was like, we're going to have Black Manta in this one. And then they decided maybe not. And
again, it goes back to a point you brought up early in the film, and I brought up about overstuffing villains. You're literally handicapping yourself. Because compared to Marvel, where a lot of the heroes have a general wide array of villains to kind of choose from, when you think of DC, there's only one hero's rogues gallery that stands out above and beyond everybody else's. That's Batman's.
Yeah.
Superman has a little bit with, Brainiac and Doomsday and, the Toymaker and all that. But Batman, even like third-rate villains like Mr. Freeze and the Riddler, you have prime chance to, have something interesting happen.
Yeah.
So if you think of like someone like Aquaman,
I can't think of very many.
you're literally, like I said, you're literally handicapped. Like, it's like, so what would you do? And then it makes you think, like, for Cyborg, like, what the fuck are they going to do for Cyborg?
Yeah.
So it's like, what, like, again, like, I don't understand why handicapping yourself that
By
much.
using so much, and then, because next time they're going to have to go Black Manta route again.
It's not like, at least with, like, Lex Luthor, you can constantly have him show up and be, like, a villain. Throughout the DC universe. Like, the next Justice League, like, maybe he somehow breaks out of jail and finds out about Steppenwolf and figures out the boom tubes and somehow unleashes Darkseid onto, Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least when you have those two villains,
Right, because he's sort of like on the outskirts. He's not really like the main.
But also
he unleashes what's the
also,
main.
but he's got the smarts and the technology to
Yeah.
be also a powerful force, not as powerful as Darkseid, but it'll make sense. Here it's just like you introduce this other major villain, and like I said, you bastardize him and made him the C-Lab 2021 version of fucking Deathstroke. Into like, well, what's he do? Well, he's got Atlantean lasers, and that's about it.
Yeah, and another problem with that is that they turned Black Manta in sort of like a comedy aspect because some of the scenes that they show him, he's like messing up. He accidentally shoots lasers at himself and blows up. He has some comedy moments to it.
They even do that in the end credits.
Yeah, and I don't think that really worked out well for Black Manta because, as we see, otherwise Black Manta is really like sort of a dark character, and
well, that's right.
And not only that, but the Black Manta suit is really not well done.
Scuba diving suit with a giant fucking
it doesn't look
football like Stewie Griffin head.
Yeah, the head itself I think is so it looks better in the comics, I'll say that. Maybe the suit itself just doesn't look cool on screen, but in the comics it does look a lot better than what we got in the what was presented to us in the film.
My idea for the end credits, when, like, instead of having the guy that's like, Atlantis is real, blah, 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 and him being the one to find Black Manta, have him be Amanda Waller that finds Black Manta. Like, hey, got a job for you.
Put you to work in the Suicide Squad.
Put him in the Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
That would be at least, more interesting. Because, again, it's like, after what you fucking did with him in this film, what are you going to do with him in Aquaman 2 if they ever do Aquaman 2?
Right, yeah, you've already sort of had what could have been his film,
and
you sort of like made it into a secondary portion of the first Aquaman. So yeah, they're gonna have a tough time coming up with a new compelling storyline with Black Manta
on how
the second Aquaman
and how he fights the King of Atlantis. Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Like I said, that was one of the cool things about Batman v Superman is the ending where Bruce is talking to Amanda Waller. It was like literally one of the few good things about that whole fucking film.
Setting it up.
Yeah.
And you're getting something that, is going to further the entirety of the DC storyline.
Granted, they totally botched and fucked it up, but at least that, it's like, that's a good idea.
In this one, there's no defining qualities of like, this is what's coming next for the DC series as a whole.
Yeah, what about Flash? Flash, Cyborg. What the fuck?
And there's barely anything to say. This is what's coming next for Aquaman.
Same thing too with Green Lantern, because that's one that's coming. I think that's like after Cyborg. That's the next one in the works. We have nothing to talk about. Green Lantern wise.
No setup.
Is it going to be Hal Jordan? Is it going to be Kyle Rayner? Is it going to? I mean, it's obviously going to be Hal Jordan, but is it going to be Jon Stewart? Who the fuck knows? And what is the Green Lantern Corps like? Are they watching what's going on? Like, again, see that's where like I said before. That's why I get so pissed off because it's not hard to fucking think about. I'm half drunk and just like kind of off shooting right now. There's
a lot that you could do to start setting up for all of the Green Lantern.
Well, I'm just talking about like how to you start introducing Darkseid. From Apocalypse, he's watching what's going on Earth and like noticing Kal-El, and then with what Darkseid's doing in the end credits, you start to introduce the Green Lantern Corps because they're the fucking police of the universe. Like Darkseid's up to something. We need to be vigilant, and like we'll set you can have we'll send like Sinestro to do something that like introduces how for the Green Lantern film, when they choose like Hal Jordan to become the next, the Earth's, Green Lantern, and how like then whatever the hell happens with Sinestro, blah blah blah. You're at least setting up for down the line.
Yeah,
they're just.
There's no setup here. They're all like standalone films.
Every film's is. I'm stealing from Red Letter Media in their review. Every film that they make is a corrective action. They do something, people bitch and moan like I am at least, about what they're doing, and then the next film, they fucking, we're gonna try to fix that. And they're not, like I said, planning everything out ahead of time. All they have is just like their titles planned out, and then everything else we'll figure it out along the way, you know?
Yeah.
And
there's no real plan here. There's no path.
And when we were watching this film in the theater, I pointed out to you, like, during that whole fucking Sicily fight, I'm like, imagine, like, what are they going to do? Like, one of the Justice League films, I imagine, if this thing gets down the line long enough, is they'd probably do, like, Flashpoint. How the fuck are they going to do Flashpoint, right?
Yeah. Just how to navigate through it.
Because that would be like if they were to do a Justice League 2-part film. Flashpoint's an event comic that would have to require 2 films.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, how the fuck do they do that without totally screwing that up? Or if they went, if Green Lantern somehow caught on big enough and they did like Brightest Night and Darkest Day, Brightest Day and like Darkest Night, like how the fuck do they do that without fucking it up?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, right now we haven't really seen anything that shows that they can actually juggle having like multiple ideas that play at once. They can only do a solo standalone film.
Just at this point, just for the next Justice League, just do Crisis on Infinite Earth and reboot the whole fucking thing. Start from scratch again. Just like, all right, we're
not a bad idea.
Nuking the verse again, and we're starting from scratch.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny just thinking about it, because they did Man of Steel, and then they waited like forever to do the next, Batman v Superman. Like, I just don't understand why they didn't do Batman right after, soon after. I know it's coming right off the Nolan ones. Hollywood's not afraid to. They waited literally like a couple of years, like between Spider-Man reboots after the Amazing Spider-Man bombed. They're like, all right, pump out, when the Hulk bombed. All right, pump those out. I just don't understand why, like, after, if you're going to set, I mean, great, I don't think with Man of Steel they were even thinking about it at the time, cinematic universe. Because I think even at the time, that time for Marvel, they were, they're doing individual films, but I don't think at the time they were kind of planning it out, but I don't think it was fully, they had a sense of, like, what they were actually going to, how they're going to go forward.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
but I mean,
any plan.
Like if you just think about like how DC's gone with their film franchise, it's kind of like Suicide Squad. We haven't seen a Ben Affleck Batman movie yet.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a Flash movie yet. It's just weird to me. I don't fucking know.
All right, so do you have anything else before we do this rating?
I want to talk about the Kingdom of the Bride.
Okay.
You want to talk about that final battle between Patrick Wilson and the...
I mean, we kind of already have.
I know, but like in depth, like all the nice...
It's kind of hilarious.
Like bubble beam, like if like Squirtle used bubble beam.
There's like
the
all
fucking sound effects.
The one thing that I did want to bring up is that like if this battle was actually happening in like the trenches, like Japan is just destroyed by a giant tsunami. Like, there's no way that a Kraken is manifesting in, like, the bottom trenches, and there's all these, like, special little squid subs that are flying around and shooting laser beams. And
don't you love them riding, like, have saddles on sharks and riding?
Yeah, right? And volcanoes are erupting, and giant seahorses are flying around, and I said, there's probably a National Geographic sub somewhere down there taking pictures and saying, what the fuck is all that shit down there?
Yeah, but that guy on the news,
Yeah.
And by the way, that also shows a problem with American news. Like, they have pundits on, they have, like, credible pundits. This crackpot pundit, like, the Atlantis is real! Like, fool.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you have him on then,
Why have a guy on that's,
you're a fucking idiot. But a good point is, like, because they try to go the environmental route, too, of, like, oh, Patrick Wilson's doing this because they pollute.
Right, because humans throw trash in. And
okay, so they did that for 2 seconds and had him wipe up like all the garbage onto the world, and and also destroy some battleships in in the process.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he showing up on the surface like the next day? Hey, that was us down here. That took nothing to do that. You want to keep fucking up? I got a whole army down here with great technology, and we'll just wipe you out.
Yeah,
you know,
there was no threats to like the humanity. They didn't even realize that there was like this war impending between Atlantis.
I mean, if anything, if we learned anything from Batman v Superman and Justice League, they would all be sitting around like, Superman God? Did Superman cause this? Where's Superman? This is why I said that, because like, again, it's like nobody, you know.
Yeah.
There's like no thought like put into that, so it's like
yeah, the whole aspect of you know, humans causing trash and really like being the start of this war, you know, being the one reason why they want to start this war.
I didn't see any trash in Atlantis. Look, you know, pretty well kept.
It's all like really glossed over. It's like there was no real motive other than that. There's no real motivation for Orm to be so upset with humanity
because he wants to be the Ocean Master.
Yeah, except for that.
Which by the way, like he's like, if I unite all the kingdoms, I become Ocean Master. And once he becomes Ocean Master, he's unstoppable. Why? He doesn't have that trident that has the all magical power.
Apparently, he's not unstoppable.
That Peter Dinklage didn't, you know.
He's unstoppable except for the person who wields the special trident.
Didn't you like how Dolph Lundgren flip-flopped like? Just like
he's like, you know what? I agree with him.
I'm a peacekeeper, and we shouldn't be doing this, Orm. This is, you know, no one will stand for you, Orm. And then he's like, actually, fuck humans, you know. Then at the end, he's like, yeah, go, Arthur, go, because you're fucking my daughter now. And instead of like, you know, having him arrested too for also being being the start of the Orm's revolution. They're just like, Dolph Lundgren has a red beard.
If your daughter was Amber Heard, you'd agree with her too.
Well, he didn't though at first.
No, at first, but then at the end, he's like, yeah, I agree with her. I guess I agree with her. I honestly did not recognize Dolph Lundgren with his like super pink flowing hair. That was like, to me, I went the entire film like, who is this guy? And then at the end, there's the credit, Dolph Lundgren. And I was like, that was Dolph Lundgren. Okay.
Kindergarten Cop 2.
But I absolutely did not recognize him at first. Just, you know, the whole pink hair threw me off, I guess. But
yeah, like, that whole setup was just like...
Yeah, that's a big problem with, like, Orm's motivation, is that there really isn't. Besides, like,
he's just blonde-haired, blue-eyed Nazi guy.
Again, and it's like the same thing like most very generic supervillains have. It's like, I want to rule the world. And it's like, but why? But why?
Do you really want that responsibility?
What, you know, but when you get down to it, like why? Why would you want to
do you really want to be the ruler of the kingdom of the trench with those sea monsters? And like, guys, stop doing, you know, the whole...
like, can you please, you know, like...
Be civilized,
yeah,
you know?
It's like
which, by the way, that was... when they get...
Good scene, yeah.
Not the fight on the boat, but when they used the flares and they went underneath and you got to see because how the flares scared out and they were kind of surround. That was really cool.
Agreed. That was probably one of the better scenes with the CGI. That you're just like, wow, they're, you know, how are they going to get out of this with like just hundreds and hundreds of different trench monsters? And that was another reason why I was like, I wish they hadn't used that, because I do know, I haven't read much Aquaman, but I did read one arc, and one arc is specifically about those trench monsters. So I was like, I really kind of wish they didn't use that. Like, it was sort of unnecessary to even use that, because they could have used that as an entire part of a film.
They could have put the trident somewhere else. It didn't have to be like through the trench kingdom to get to the center of the... I mean, though it does make sense, because apparently... Atlantis trident is an Earth's core, which is a fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Jeff Goldblum walking around going, man has a way of, you know, nature and things doing stuff and Grandmaster, you know.
I do like how a meteor wiped out most of the dinosaurs, but some of them were like, we'll just go to the center of the Earth.
Yeah, somehow. Apparently Atlan had, like, you know, was able to, like, quick, my children, you know.
Yeah, Noah's Ark it.
But by the way, how'd you like Nicole Kidman being down there? Like, that's not an Ant-Man ripoff of Ant-Man going into the fucking quantum realm and finding Michael Douglas's, you know, long-lost wife that got...
Well, it's kind of a bitchy thing to do, is like, you can make it down to the center of the Earth, you can leave, but you've never done it. You've never, like, said to your husband and your son, you're like, I'm gonna go to the center of the Earth and I'm gonna try to, like, get this trident back. Never,
I don't
never
think,
bothered to tell
I don't
anybody.
think she did. The way it was framed was she didn't want to be married to Orm's father. That's why she ran away to begin with and then slept with Django. And then when they came and attacked in the open narration, come back, get fucked, have Patrick Wilson, and then she's like, I can't take this anymore, and they're going to kill me. So she ran off and somehow ended up in the center of the earth, and she's like, yeah, that whirlpool sends you down here, but without the power of something like Atlantis Trident, which just happens to be down here, you can't get out. She's just been... I think it would have been better if they just had her be like the sacrificial mother character, and she's just gone. There's no, there was no point, Are we going to get, Days of Our Bruins, coming up with, we're going to the Piggly Wiggly, pick up some games. Come on. Yeah. Bruins on at 9. Let's go. Doc Emmerich's calling the game.
Nicole Kidman looks a lot like Amy Adams in this film. I think because of her, like the way they. It's also
making me think of like Robin Wright in Justice League. But yeah, they went the whole. Her whole look does look like from Ant-Man too. Like yeah, she's the fish version.
Yeah. And like the problem with having her look like Amy Adams is that Amy Adams is already in a DC film. She's already Lois Lane, so that's an issue when they they look similar. It's kind of funny, but
I don't know. Like that whole part, like I said, like it's something that's like potential, and then it's like you immediately snuffed it out. Mm-hmm. Like I'm fine with like I said, I'm fine with the whole idea of the film being just the quest to get Atlantis, Trident back because Arthur cannot be Orm because he's he doesn't have the power. He doesn't have the power and the knowledge to do it, and with like Willem Dafoe's tutelage, I think it would have been fun too. Like if it wasn't just him and Amber Heard going run globe trotting, have Willem Dafoe there too. like hey, we just dive bombed out into the Sahara. Wow, have be like Harry Carey, like wow, that's things
staring on disapprovingly as he's Arthur and Mara make out.
Well, that and Willem Dafoe's probably he's disapproving because he's like, I remember her when she was a young girl, and I was like, she's gonna be Amber Heard. Yeah. But just and so like when you then run into his mom, like that's another thing too that these DC movie loves. Just these people who can't get over their moms.
Yeah,
you didn't know
her name was Martha for a long time.
I know, it's like you didn't know your mom. Get over it.
Yeah, he didn't. He wouldn't have known her like at all. Yeah. And Patrick Wilson for sure can't get over it. Like that's part of his main motivation is that he can't get over his mother
for being a traitor and a whore. But
so
I mean, what do you think too about the whole Kraken
Kraken being like a
protector of
defender? Yeah,
and it's
hilarious.
It's hilarious. The whole idea that Arthur is like the Kraken's like, you are not worthy to hold the trident. It's like, yeah, I know, but there's not much I can do right now, and I just have to believe that I can do it, and you'll help me. And she's like, you're the first person that tried to talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, try.
Yeah, the giant like eel thing that he has to fight. Yeah, that's actually really anticlimactic. It's like, there's a giant eel. This is gonna be great. He's gonna battle her, and it's like Dungeons and Dragons down there. A giant eel protecting
trident.
Yeah, trident. And then no.
It's just like, it was that was just hilarious to me. Like the fact that she's like, no one's talked to me since Atlan. It's like, sure, give it a try, but you're not worthy. And then
I'll leave. Yeah, I know.
It's so stupid.
I will say that I think I'll say it again. I think Aquaman is probably the second best DC film.
Still not.
And I will say that I did enjoy myself. It wasn't like, because of how quickly it moves through its different phases, I did enjoy myself in a way that I didn't in like Batman v Superman or Justice League or even Black Panther. Because Black Panther was way too slow for me in terms of like what it offered. It was socially important? Sure. Something that I really like wanted to see again? No, not really. It's just not entertaining to me. And at least Aquaman did have that entertaining aspect of just like, more shit? Basically that's like what you feel like throughout the film. So at least in that sense, it was fun. I do think James Wan is a good director. Here, this is less like directing and more like artistically, putting different CGI effects together. So
The best effects were the end credits.
yeah, I mean, James Wan, I think, does a good job directing, and the pacing is pretty well done. But there is that you're suffering from the same issues that almost every single DC film has suffered from, that they're not connected. This one takes place after Justice League, so they're like the stakes are a little less, and also it just doesn't really make sense in some aspects. Like, we have Aquaman killing a lot of people, or at least what would appear to be killing a lot of people, and
Like
it just doesn't really
it's got
fit
that
with,
It's got that nice Frank Miller touch. Of,
and it just doesn't really fit with like what we've seen of Justice League previously, and so there are some issues with the continuity of these films that just don't really add up.
Like I said, though, it's the Frank Miller, Zack Snyder, like, Batman uses good. So, like I said, when they do Flashpoint, one of the big things about Flashpoint is like, oh, that's not Bruce Wayne. That's Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne.
And he uses guns and he kills his, criminals. So how the hell, when they do Flashpoint, like, Thomas Wayne's gonna be, like, actually more like the real Bruce Wayne and not use guns and don't kill criminals?
Yeah.
Because Ben Affleck's, like, just running around, neck snap, gun,
Yeah.
break your neck, German suplex through cement, you're dead, fuck you, you're dead. Aquaman's running around with guys on top of his shoulders, giving them, like, the Lex Express treatment of, like, torture rack into the top of a sub, door, and he's like, you're dead.
Throwing like a shield through him or whatever, like a metal piece into them. Yeah, I mean, Aquaman, I would say, kills a lot of people in this film. And
He left a lot of those pirates on that that submarine that went under.
Right, and it just seems like it's a little off from what Justice League sets up. And so
The only one that's not blood hungry out of the Justice League so far is like fucking the Flash and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Because Wonder Woman's like, at least with her film, she's like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
And
and the Flash is a kid, so he's not gonna kill people. But Cyborg, from the little glimpse he got from Justice League, is like, I fucking hate everybody. So like,
he's angsty Cyborg.
Yeah.
I do think like that's what you had said before. The biggest issue, especially coming off of Justice League, continuity. It's just not. It's lacking in Aquaman. So I would probably give Aquaman out of
10
Roy Orbison songs.
I was gonna go with the great one-liner. I need water. Huh. Could have just peed on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When he said that line, Jason Momoa was probably like, "Yeah, I'm funny."
Yeah,
Just like,
out of 10 Roy Orbison songs, I would give Aquaman a 7. I'd give it a 7.
Generous.
I don't know. I just
Generous.
I explained why I would, but I did find it entertaining. I did think that it was probably one of the best films of the DC series so far. I think we're moving in a better direction, and we just need to get to that point where DC understands, like, we got to work towards something. We need to, it's not enough to just have a standalone film at this point. We need to work towards an overarching arc to this DC franchise, instead of just, saying, all right, well, Aquaman's doing his thing, Batman's doing his thing, Superman's like, I'm watching everybody, but I don't really care if they, succeed or fail. I'm doing my thing. So, that's the biggest issue I have. What about you?
Well, when I originally left the theater, I'd probably say a 4. But I think that's what I gave, Justice League. And I'm pretty sure I gave Batman v Superman a 3. I'll give this a 5. And it's a very soft 5. It's definitely more entertaining than Justice League and Batman v Superman. Absolutely. However, the fact that it's 2.5 hours long is unnecessary and makes me angry. Before I even saw the film, I told you I don't want to even review it. Because I don't want to sit down and watch a fucking film that's 2.5 hours long that I know doesn't need to be 2.5 hours long. Nobody told Warner Brothers, hey, you shoot everything in digital now. It's not like you're wasting film. It's part of your cost. It's all digital. Mm-hmm. Some, grad students got to sit there and sift through it all and sort it for you into different folders. Don't worry about it. Just you can cut it. It's fine. You know, outside of Willem Dafoe, everybody in this film is a fucking charisma vacuum. Even Amber Heard. I watching her in this film made me think of like the whole bit in that 70s show when Hyde and Eric are when they're talking to each other about Jackie, about Mila Kunis, and Eric's like Topher Grace like, oh, Jackie, no, she's, oh, how can you, why, like, how can you think about her? And he's like, and Danny Master's like, well, no, think about her. And then, like, on an island in like a nice grass skirt bikini, and she's in a grass skirt bikini, a nice coconut bra on, but she's sitting there bitching the entire time. And you get to hear the audio, and Eric's like, yeah, that's fucking terrible. He's like, Danny Masterson goes, now do what I do. And he just tunes her out, and she sit there, like, looking at her, and just, like, the same thing, but the audio's muted, and Eric's like, Topher Grace's like, you're right, she is hot. So, like, that's kind of like with Amber Heard in this movie. It's like, if you just, like, cut out, like, all her dialogue, it's like, yeah, you're nice eye candy. Yeah, you're great. That's awesome. But then when you, like, open up and have to listen to her, you're like, oh, she's not bitchy, but she's like, you're generic, female. I inspire the male to get his heart on to win the day.
Yeah. It's more the writing of how they wrote Mara than
I agree, and I'm not blaming her for that. Like, she does have some charismatic moments, like the whole Sicily thing, as stupid as it is, but like her eating the roses, that is kind of funny. Her jumping out the fucking plane into the Sahara Desert and just them like crash landing and like that was kind of funny, but it just there's not enough there to go anywhere. And I think the chemistry between Jason Momoa and her is very, very, very like the Sahara, dry, and bland and pedantic, and it's like not believable at all. Like I said, Willem Dafoe is really the only one that I find to be appealing in this film, and like I said, he's mailing it in. Patrick Wilson is alright as like your generic like Bondian, I'm going to take over the world for the sake of fucking taking over the world. At this point, 6+ movies into this universe, the fact that they have no idea on where they're going and what they're doing and how the stakes are constantly going to be raised and will through those stakes being raised and the interactions that each movie has. Like, so if you have a standalone movie like Ant-Man versus the Wasp, which is its own little entity and its own little bubble, but at the end of the day, there's consequences that happen in that film that later build and influence Infinity War. These films don't have any of those connections. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, because again, as I said to you when we reviewed these films before, Marvel's is... Watching a film at this point, it's like a TV episode. It's a film serial. If you don't know the backstory of what's going on as a standalone, it's not going to work as well because everything is building to a certain point. Here, these films are kind of more standalone, but the fact that it's supposed to be building to a fucking point and they're not really building character arcs, like what would be wrong throughout this film? Like having like a little brief, like seeing a little brief, like, what's going on with Batman? Like, what's, going on? Or at the end credits, like, what's Darkseid doing? What, and again, this is me all just predicting on what I think they should be doing, because it's, like, the most logical thing, like, building to Darkseid. So, like, the fact that they're not even doing that, and then, like, tying to their future films with Cyborg. Like, wouldn't you want to have, like, an end credits in one of these films to lead to, like, what's going on with Cyborg? Because at this point, after what we saw in Justice League, do you really need to see a standalone origin story about Cyborg?
No.
We basically saw that in Justice League. So it's like, okay. And it's, again, as I said, it's not like Cyborg's got a fucking murderer's row of, a rogues gallery. In fact, he's mainly known for being part of the Teen Titans. So, what do? Give us some insight. Show us where you're going. Because right now, this is a ship without a captain. It's just lost at sea, and it's totally rudderless. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. If this film was on its own, I'd still say it's mediocre. It's too long. Characters are uninteresting. The plot is dull as bullshit. the whole Black Manta part's a total waste. The score's atrocious. And I feel bad for James Wan being suckered into this.
Tell him to go back to The Conjuring. Just do another Conjuring.
I mean, I like those movies, so.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think he's probably working on one.
Or do Saw.
Hopefully not.
Do Jigsaw
yeah,
too.
Hopefully not diluting the...
Come back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just... Like I said, it's getting frustrating. And, about to the point where I'm like... Once we finally get to the next Justice League, probably like, I'm fucking done. Because at this point, like, if you don't know if they don't have a map, you might, like I said, you might as well just just make the next movie Infinite Crisis, do 3 hours of bullshit, like, we're rebooting the universe, and start from scratch.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the fact that at this point you haven't done a fucking Batman film, though, they would probably argue, like, oh, we did, it's Batman v Superman. You know. Something that should have been later down the line. Did Marvel start off with Civil War? No. They built up Batman, and Captain America and Iron Man's relationship. So wouldn't you, especially seeing as Batman v Superman is based off Frank Miller's, comics, wouldn't you want to build up Bruce and Kal-El's, relationship instead of going the whole, he's an alien, he's like a god, we're going for the god metaphor, and, and I'm Bruce and I don't like this stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
What are we doing next time?
What are we doing next time?
I got a brain aneurysm.
I don't know what we're doing next time. Do you want to do horror? Do you want to do... We're really open now because we don't have any, holidays coming
up. All
up.
right.
So.
Well, I will.
You got one?
Not a movie, but a genre.
Okay.
So we'll do spaghetti western.
Spaghetti western.
Haven't done one in a while.
Yep. So... not sure exactly which one we want to do. I do have Get Mean that I haven't checked out yet.
We'll figure it out.
But expect a spaghetti western is what
we
we're
haven't
saying.
done one in a long time, and we gotta get back to the roots.
That's right. So that'll be in 2 weeks. We'll be back with a spaghetti western. Thank you for listening to this episode.
And then before you know it, we'll do My Bloody Valentine 4.
Yeah. Back to the My Bloody Valentine. You know what though? There is a Valentine movie coming out. Scream Factory's got literally the movie, the slasher movie, Valentine, which was right in the Scream 90s playbook, coming out this February. So that one could be one that we do for February.
Good. Because I've never fucking heard of it.
David Boreanaz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer /Angel.
On Facebook, they have all the Buffy episodes on Facebook video.
Oh, yeah?
I was just scrolling through, how you scroll through videos and it has random shit that you might be interested in. One of the ones that I was scrolling through, apparently Facebook thinks I'm really into Big Bang Theory, and I'm not. And when I scrolled through one, it says Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's literally the first full episode, and the people are like, all the episodes are posted on Facebook, go ahead and watch them.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow!
So we're doing Valentine for Valentine's Day. Well, that's cemented. We're in.
If you don't forget.
That's right. All right, so thanks for listening. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, any other podcasting app that you use. Subscribe to us. Leave us a nice review. We appreciate that. We're on Twitter at Blood and Black Rum. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We have an email address at bloodandblackrumPodcast@gmail.com. And you can also subscribe to us on our Patreon page and donate to the show. That's what we were talking about earlier in the show. $1 will get you an episode every 2 weeks, at least 1 day early, sometimes more. And if you donate, we really appreciate it. It just helps keep our costs down for running the podcast, because we do have podcasting fees and stuff like that we pay for to keep the show on the air. So anything that you can donate is appreciated. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a spaghetti western. So make sure you get your marinara sauce out.
Take care.